today I have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing guest today. She is an engineer. I went to school with her at First Institute, and just witnessing her in person and what she does and how dedicated she is and how passionate she is about her craft is so amazing. Angie Sanabal.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming out. I'm so excited, Angie. Like, when I first started this podcast, I had a goal in mind to start and to keep the consistency. And I kind of stumbled along the way because, in circumstances, things don't work out the way that it needs to. But then I decided, you know what? I had a vision for this, and I'm not going to just give up on this because this can help so many people. And just sitting down with like wonderful people who are, so thought provoking and are dedicated to what they do and stick to what to do is great. It's a great thing. And I love talking to people, and I love talking to people like you. And I can't wait for everyone to see this and get to see the amazing person that you are, and hopefully reach out to you to get some work done. So artists, pay attention and tune in, okay? And yeah. So let's get this thing started. So let me pull up my notes right quick.
That was a great introduction, by the way.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you so much. You're making me laugh.
Oh my God. Okay, let me bring this up. Sorry, you guys. I'm still using my phone. It's all right. It's okay. As I go, I'm going to get used to it, and it's going to be a thing. But for now, we're going to pull out the notes because I'm a note taker, and I love to take notes. Okay. So on today, in the last episode that I did with my last guest, we went over accountability, and it was such a great conversation. And in today's episode, we're going to be going over self-worth and validation. Learning to validate yourself instead of seeking external approval. And I think this is such an amazing topic. Like, I had 3 topics that I sent you, and you chose this one. Why did you chose this one?
Self-worth and validation. I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but that topic caught my attention. I think it's something that speaks to me personally, because it's something that I've learned to deal with, and I don't know. I think I'm very passionate about it. I have a lot of things to say.
I think I'm passionate about it as well. I think a lot of women and men deal with this issue of like seeking validation from elsewhere when they can look from within. And I think that it's a conversation that does need to be had. A lot of conversations need to be had, but one of like this thing, especially like being in the industry, entertainment industry, this dog eat dog industry, you have to have backbone, know who you are, know what you know, and stand firm on it, and not allow anyone to, because that's what they'll do. They'll belittle you or try to beat you down or make it seem as if you don't know what you're doing. Like, you didn't go to school for all this time and learn what you learned and experience what you experience. And it kind of it could be a downer. It can be a downer. Have you dealt with that?
Yes. And especially nowadays with social media, there's a lot of comparison. So I think it's important for everyone to have their identity well defined.
Yeah.
Especially on the early days of my career, I dealt with a lot of having to prove myself to others, which, it shaped who I am now a little bit, but it's just like a constant situation of having to explain yourself, prove yourself, and it's exhausting, honestly. So yeah, I've dealt with it.
And how did you go about dealing with that?
Well, let me think. Oh my god, I'm like nervous. That's
Don't
crazy.
be.
I think it just comes with experience. It's not something that you learn from one day to another. Um, with the more experience you get and in different situations that you've lived, you understand who you are, what you're capable of doing, and you get confident.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of people around you that will tell you, that you're not good enough, or they'll doubt you,
Yeah.
and you can't depend on what others are saying or what others are doing to define your worth.
Right.
Because if not, it's going to be messed up.
Yeah, most definitely. So I have a series of questions that I'm going to ask. I'm not going to go through all of the questions because that would just take up so much time. And, we're kind of on the clock, but that's okay. We're not going to rush. We're going to enjoy our time and then just, flow. But one of the questions that I have here, or you know what? You choose. You choose. Don't look at the cards. Don't look at the cards. Just choose from the pile. Choose from the pile.
Okay.
You go from the top.
This one says, how do you handle situations when your creative ideas or expertise aren't immediately respected?
Let me see the card.
Wow.
How do you deal with that? Or how do you handle the situation?
I think what I used to do before, when I was first starting in my career, I will be very defensive. I will be like a little bit of entitled of, I can't believe someone's doubting my expertise. They don't know the things that I've done, or maybe they do, but they don't care. And I've been trying to step away from being so defensive. I'm not trying to justify any behavior, especially as a woman. A lot of people will doubt you on a man's dominated field.
Yes.
But I think the best way to handle those types of situations sometimes is just silence, a smile, and doing your work. Because your work will speak for yourself.
I love that. Keeping it classy. Keeping it very demure.
Very cutesy.
Very cutesy,
And it's something that I need to work on every day. Because, I don't know, sometimes I guess it's the Latina blood just wants to take off her ring.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Like, try me like this.
And sometimes those situations can be offensive even when people don't take into consideration your journey and all the things that you've gone through. Especially in this industry, there's this mindset of if you didn't suffer to get where you are, you don't deserve it. I think that's just nonsense, but it's very common.
Because everybody's journey is
It's
their
different.
own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the way of handling those situations, when you have your identity well defined, you know who you are and what you can do, is just, silence, and your work will speak for yourself. Sometimes arguing is just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think like some people argue just to argue, just to seem like superior, or they have something over you, like they know something that you don't, and they have to make you feel. Why do you think they do that? What is it in them that you think provokes such a response or behavior?
It could be a lot of things. Sometimes people just like to give others a hard time, or if they see that you're different, they see something in yourself. It could be a good thing that they don't like. They feel threatened, and they want to put you down. Sometimes it's that, or sometimes it's their own insecurities
Mm-hmm.
projecting onto you.
Yeah.
They doubt themselves, and they want to, start questioning things. In my opinion, everyone has their own opinions,
Yeah.
and they're allowed to have them. But I'll always do my very best work, and people will see it.
Yes, I love that. And you do real great work. Yeah, I'm going to put Angie's handle underneath the description below, and y'all need to follow and just reach out. Like, if you're an artist, really reach out because she does amazing work. And when I say she's dedicated to her craft, she's dedicated to her craft. I know. I have witnessed this. Like I said, we went to school together, so I know. But yeah, Angie, I love that. I think that um, for me, like something that I struggled with like really bad is having an idea. Like I have creative ideas for days, but when I seek out for support and it kind of backfires in my face, I kind of shut down inside, and then I start to doubt myself, like maybe they're right. Maybe like this isn't possible, or I have to do it this way that they're saying to do it. And then, it doesn't align with me. It doesn't click with me. You know what I mean? Because that's not how I envisioned it. And then, that's when I kind of back out, which was really bad because now I find myself years later like, hey, like they were wrong for that. And I should have just stood my ground and went for whatever it is that I had set my mind to do. And now I'm finding myself doing those things again, but learning experiences and everything and learning yourself. But there was a time like I had an idea, and that's another thing, like telling everybody what you have going. That's not really the best thing to do, is to go around and tell people, well, hey, I have this idea. I want to do this, that, and the fourth, because there are some people that have um that don't really have good intentions for you. And so, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's a little tricky because I there must be a balance.
Mhm.
A lot of opportunities I've had come my way. It's because I tell people like my dreams and my
Mhm.
goals, and
Yeah.
some people get excited and they want to help you,
Yes.
and maybe not on that moment when you tell them,
Yeah.
they they don't do anything. They're like, okay, but then later in life they're like, you know what, I have this opportunity and I remember our conversation.
Yes.
Are you interested in this? And sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I can, you
Mhm.
know. Um, so it's tricky because you have to put yourself out there, but you have to be careful too.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's not that they bring you down right there in that moment. Sometimes a lot of people compliment you and then they have hidden intentions.
Yeah.
It's tricky, but I think that makes us stronger. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yes.
That's why having an identity defined is so important. Like,
Yes.
if you know what you
Oh.
want to do
Mhm.
and you're consistent on that, even if people tell you that you're crazy, that you're doing it wrong, that that's not the industry standard,
Mhm.
you can come up with, you know, a new way of doing things, a new sound,
Yes. Yeah.
a new aesthetic.
Mhm.
And I think it's important for us to take inspiration in others that have done those revolutionary things,
Yes.
to not let our spirits down when we're trying something different.
Mhm.
It's really tricky, I'm telling you. And
It
I
is.
struggle with those things myself too.
Yes.
I sometimes I look back and I regret not doing certain things, or not opening myself to opportunities that were right there in front of me at that moment.
Yeah.
But also, there's a new day every day
Yeah.
where I have the decision. I have the right of decision to say, okay, what am I going to do with my day?
Yeah.
Am I going to keep regretting not doing that, whatever I didn't do in the past, or I'm going to make the decision of, okay, I'm going to start working on my dreams, right?
Yeah. And I think we can all relate to that, the what if, buts, and whys, but then just understanding that for what it is and then growing from that and moving forward. And you said something so important too, like knowing your identity. I was listening to a sermon yesterday. I listened to this woman named Sarah Jake Roberts. Like I listen to sermons. Like I love God and everything. And I listened, she said something that really captured my attention. She said that you need to get out an identity statement or write out an identity statement on you and who you are. And I was like, wow. Because a lot of people don't know who they are. That's a real thing.
It's an issue.
And when you don't know who you are, that's when like the whole finding that validation elsewhere becomes a thing. Because how can you validate yourself if you don't know yourself?
And sometimes it's just like negligence with ourselves. We don't even ask those questions to ourselves most of the times. You know what I mean? And we talked about it a few weeks when we met. We were having lunch together.
Yes.
And it comes to that question, like, what do you do when, some people doubt you or question you?
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, I also have a list of my accomplishments because it helps me remind myself the things that I'm capable of doing and, like, who I am. I'm hardworking. I'm smart.
Yeah.
I work well under pressure. I'm creative,
Yes.
So having like that list of an identity definition and or accomplishments, I think is very important.
Yes. Next question. Pull from
Me?
the deck. Yes, pull from the deck. Pull from the deck.
Oh, we have to make a jingle.
Yeah, we should. Yes.
Honestly.
Yes. Yes.
With like a little image and then the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read
Good
it?
idea.
Okay, let me read it. Wow.
Ooh.
This question, guys,
Oh man.
it says, have you ever had to choose between staying true to yourself creatively or pleasing someone else for approval?
Ooh.
So
that's good.
on our field, it's a little tricky. Everything's tricky.
It is.
But there's a lot of dilemmas, and it comes to your boundaries also. We are in a service industry. Sometimes we're working for others, and we have
Right.
to respect
Their vision
their
and what
vision
their
and their
wants.
decisions. I think
Yeah.
that makes a good engineer too.
Yes.
Being able to say, okay, there's this box where I cannot stand outside of it because you don't like, it's not like, it's a lack of respect for the other person that you're
Right.
working for. Now if it's a passion project, so like a collaboration, it's
Yes.
different. But
There's freedom there.
but there's a lot of situations where you have to give up on certain things creatively to win, to accomplish, to finish the project. And sometimes it's things that you don't agree with, and you have to just respect others. Yeah.
I feel that. That's good. Cause I thought about that. Like, you know what? You do have that creativity, but also they do as well, and they're coming for you as a source, and for you to help bring out what it is that they're envisioning. And so there's got to be a balance, and there's got to be like okay, let's stop right here. because we don't want to stray away from what it is that they're trying to bring out.
Exactly.
Even though you see this.
Yes.
And so it's like learning to tone it down a bit. And it's okay because it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in the audio industry, a lot of people call it the audio industry is the science and the art together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially for music and live events, entertainment in general is just like a mix of both, where you can be creative in certain aspects, but you don't want to overstep on someone else's part of the, event or project. So it's important to, balance things out. Sometimes you can make suggestions, if you see like something, wow, crazy. But sometimes it's just better to, stay on your lane.
Right. Right. So let me choose the next question. Let me just dig in here. I don't know what's what. I'm just choosing a random card. This one says, was there a specific moment or experience that made you realize you were relying too much on external validation?
Wow. Yes. And like I said, I think this is something that we have to work on every day. There's been a lot of situations where I remember on one of my first jobs as a recording engineer.
Yeah.
I was at this studio and we had a lot of artists coming in, and everyone wants to be like the favorite one, the one that all the artists want to work with. And when you're learning and you're young, sometimes you just seek validation for others in social media, in your teammates at work, and you do things to fit in. And sometimes, you do things that you're in situations and you put yourself in places where you're not very comfortable.
Yeah.
Just to fit in. So I experienced that a lot. Now that I'm older, I understand that, I was learning, and, some things could have been done differently.
Yeah.
But I try not to beat myself too much about it. I was just learning.
We are back. And you were saying something about being uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was saying that I think it's important sometimes to get out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that we can grow into, dreams or goals or ourselves. Because that way we'll be able to do things that we never thought we will be capable of doing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's important to do something different, push our limits a little bit, so that we can keep growing, because everything's a constant evolution.
Yes.
You don't, even if you feel stuck in some place, it's because there's something different that you need to be doing.
Yes. Yes, you are so right about that. There are times in my life where I feel stuck and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? The routine that I have is not working for me anymore. So like, what's the issue? Maybe I need to switch up the routine, because what used to work for me is no longer working for me, because now I'm in a new space. Either I'm in a new space mentally, physically, spiritually, with my job, with anything, finances, whatever. So yeah.
Comfort is good because it means that we have consistency.
Yes.
But when you're an ambitious person,
yeah,
you want to keep growing, keep learning, accomplish better and bigger things. And if you feel stuck, sometimes you have to do something different.
Yeah, I love that. Now is it my turn again? You did two. I did what? How many? One?
It's your turn.
So I'll go again.
Ooh. I love that, so that we can keep talking.
Yeah.
It helps things flow a lot better.
I love these cars, you know. It's going to
Yeah,
be a
and
thing.
great questions also. So.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, just deep questions that we don't ask ourselves. Sometimes I think the other issue about like not knowing yourself is not knowing what kinds of questions to ask yourself. And that's why it's important to have like people that genuinely care about you and seeking professional help, even if
Mhm.
you know, like seeking therapy. It's okay to seek therapy,
Mhm.
you know, so you can ask yourself the right questions or the question that will help you shape your mind or open up your mind to something that you need to, you know, learn about yourself.
Mhm.
But you see, I just be talking and talking.
I love that. Hey, this is a podcast for a reason.
Yeah. What's a compliment you gave yourself this week that made you smile? What's the compliment you gave yourself this week that made you smile? Oh, this has 2 questions on it.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah.
What's a compliment that I gave myself this week? Honestly, I gave myself too many compliments this week.
Yeah.
I told you it was my birthday recently.
Yeah.
And I decided to take the whole week off.
Mhm.
I was traveling with my family, and this is something that I struggle with a little bit. I need to keep myself doing things, being busy, and I had to tell myself that it's okay to relax, it's okay to slow down, it's okay to, pause all the working, all the self growth, and just live the moment a little bit. So that made me smile because I forgot how good it felt to not do anything.
It does feel good.
Yes. But sometimes
when you're constantly working.
But sometimes when you're just so used to of always moving, always doing something, it feels wrong.
Yeah. You might get anxious even.
You feel like if you have so many dreams and goals and you're not working towards them, like you're not going to be good enough. And it's important to rest and get some mental health.
A mental
days.
break. Yes. Just have a self-care
So
day.
that me being comfortable with resting, that made me feel really good. Just like I was in the beach with my
I
hat
love that for
and
you.
everything.
Yes.
So I was like, this is nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself because sometimes you do need that rest. Like, and that's like speaking in general for everybody. Like, when you spend so much time work,
it's not healthy.
Yeah, because like you lose fuel on self, and when you lose fuel on self, how can self put fuel into anything else? It just can't work. You need a break. Sometimes taking a break is okay. You're not doing a horrible thing. Like taking a self-care day, like getting your nails done, hair is done, or going to that therapy session, or go to church, or whatever it is that you do that centers you. You know?
Yes.
You know, get back to 100% and then go back out there and do it again.
I feel like now that I'll be back working tomorrow. I'll do things even better.
Yeah.
Like with a different mindset. Sometimes we charge ourselves with all this negativity and negative emotions, and we just carry those things because we're tired, because it's getting hot and it's horrible.
The economy is bad.
There's so many things going around us that we just keep holding onto these emotions. That the only way to like free ourselves from that is just resting. So I feel like I love what I do, but sometimes I'm negative too. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't want to do it also.
Mhm.
And now that I took a break, I think I'll do a better job.
Yeah.
And I'll have a better
Yeah.
attitude also.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
exciting. I'm excited about going to work. I
Oh
think
my
that's
God.
crazy.
I love that for you. Yes. So
And-
you'll be like at 100% tomorrow. And everybody will be looking like, huh? What? No, you had a break. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You had some rest.
Like, maybe I felt a little burnt out
Mm-hmm.
with all the work and all the changes. And um, in the entertainment industry, schedules are crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to complain about it, but sometimes you just need a break
Yeah.
of what you're doing so that you can start doing it even better when you come back.
Yes. And you know what? I have to stress that it's okay to take a break.
It's okay
It's all right.
to take a break.
The world will not fall apart. Okay? You won't lose your house. You won't lose your car. You're
You
not a
know-
bad person.
Do you know what I love? There's like always two perspectives of everything.
Yeah.
Like, you're not that important. You know what I mean? Like, if you stop working, it's not the end of the world
yeah, it's
because
not.
you're not that important.
Listen, if you were to lose your job or quit, they'll find another person
They
the next
will.
day. Okay, they might find another person within 24 hours.
And
So
I remember
don't beat yourself up.
I remember on my notes that you asked me to write.
Mm-hmm. And she wrote, I love that.
We're talking about redefining self-worth,
Yes.
and we're talking about how there's always two perspectives on the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I wanted to mention that comparison, right? Comparing ourselves to others, especially in social media and in a workplace, whatever, your friends, can be bad.
Yeah.
But inspiring yourself from what others are doing, it's good. So that helps me a lot with my self doubts and my journey of self worth.
Mm-hmm.
I think about comparison as a bad thing, but inspiration as a good thing. And it
Mhm.
can be like the same, just looking at what others are doing.
I'm sorry if I'm looking at my
That's
phone.
perfect.
I'm just resetting this parking time. I don't want them to tow my car.
No,
After I'm done with
no.
this, I go outside and my car is gone.
No.
Oh no, we not doing that. Okay, but I just had to make sure
That's
that.
perfect.
But yes, absolutely. I believe it is now your turn
My
to
turn.
choose a card from the deck.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh my god.
What happened?
Did you come up with these questions?
Yes, I did. I did.
Wow. This one is juicy. It says, in an industry where feedback and opinions are constant,
Mm-hmm.
how do you separate constructive criticism from attacks on your self-worth? I think it depends on the situation.
Mm.
Sometimes feedback, it is an attack. No, I'm just kidding. Feedback is a gift, guys. I think. I hate this question. I don't want to answer it. It makes me upset. No. Let me read it again. In an industry where feedback and opinions are constant, how do you separate constructive criticism from attacks on your self-worth?
Because some people,
I think
some people mean,
yes.
and they don't mean it in a way that helps you, but to destroy.
Yes.
That's a harsh word, but that's real.
But we're talking about good feedback.
Yes.
Right? When they are right, and
Mhm.
sometimes, okay, the way that I see it is that, and I like this, and I'm a huge advocate on the constant evolution on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
On there's always something new that you can learn, a new way of doing things, and better and bigger things because I'm ambitious, right? I like growing and I like learning. So that's the way that I see it. Feedback is an opportunity for growth, especially if it's good feedback. Like not a compliment, but I meant constructive criticism. If someone says like, "Hey, thank you for whatever you're doing. I just think, maybe the next time you can change X thing, right?"
Yeah.
That's good feedback, and
Yeah.
that's appreciated
Yes.
because I want to be better and I want to, grow into who I am.
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with constructive criticism. It's not an attack of, "You're too slow," or "That's not good." It's just, "Oh, okay. I can learn from the feedback that I'm given."
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about being patient also.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to remind myself not to be very reactive to what other people are saying and just assume the worst. I want to be kind.
Ooh.
I want to be, easygoing. And I think I am.
Yeah.
And I want to be patient.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that me and the other person are on the same page and we understand each other's and each other's intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't have a bad intention.
Yeah.
So if you're very defensive and reactive,
I used to be like that. It used to be bad.
me too.
It used to be real bad. Someone will say something and I'm just like, huh? Like, what do you mean by that? Okay, but this, that, and the fourth, and I would return it back to them and I would bring up this thing and that thing, and I'm just like, I just feel like you coming for me, so I need to come for you back. Oh, it used to be bad. I'm still working on it. It's not as bad now. Like I'm way better now. I'm not really easily. I don't easily get defensive or feel attacked, but it used to be a struggle of mine. Like I used to feel like everybody was coming for me, and so my response or reactions wasn't always positive.
And especially if there's like a history of people actually giving you destructive criticism or feedback, but in reality it's just judgment towards you. You start building like these shields around you and you become defensive, and so I think it's something that you live and you learn, right? Because what am I going to get from being super defensive all the time?
Yeah.
Loneliness, like
being bitter.
Angry.
Yeah.
Being upset. I want to assume that everyone has good intentions. I'm not stupid, okay? I know that's a lie. Not everyone does. But I want to assume the best from everyone.
Yeah, have a positive outlook.
And then, if their intentions were bad, it's on them and not on me. I did the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember I used to work at this church, and the pastor was talking about something similar. He was saying like a personal story. When he was younger, he used to live in Miami with his dad. He was young.
Yeah.
And this story always stuck on me. Like, I think about it often. He was saying how, he was in his car. He was a kid. In his car, and his dad was driving. And there was a homeless man, asking for food or whatever, asking for help. And on that day, he saw how his dad took his wallet. He had like all this big amount of cash, and he just gave it to him, to the homeless man. And he thought, and he said to his dad, "Wow, Dad, why did you do that? Maybe he's going to buy drugs or use it for other things. Like, why would you give him so much money?" And his dad replied, "Well, if he does that, shame on him.
Yeah.
But if he really needed the help, and I had the, the opportunity and like the means to help him, and I didn't, and he was suffering,
Yeah.
shame on me,
Mm.
right? You
Yeah.
do your part. You do your best behavior, and you assume the best from people.
Yeah.
And if you were wrong, you did your right thing. You did the right part. You had your best intentions. Shame on them then, not on me, because I did my best. I assumed the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be like that.
I love that. That's so. It's so innocent and pure, and it's meaningful, because it's coming from a positive place and not a place of darkness.
And it's exhausting to assume that everyone is bad.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know that feeling all too well. It's draining.
It is. Because you're giving them like your energy
Yeah.
in a negative way. So I think, everything's a balance. I don't want to be naive and let people take advantage of me.
Yeah.
But I want to assume that they have the best intentions. And I want to be kind and easygoing and
Yeah.
friendly, I think
Yeah. That goes a
that's
long way.
that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to have a negative perspective of, oh, me. Because I know that I'm good.
And you are. And I think the world, some people don't like good because they don't have good in them, or they haven't seen that around them. And so they don't know how to exude that. And so they're just looking to tear something that is of light and tear them down and make it into darkness. And it's not, just don't conform yourself.
No, there's a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, that too.
But
yeah.
If you
Most definitely.
if you mind your business and you keep being constant and working towards your goals, it doesn't matter if there's jealousy around you. Like, you'll find your way to accomplish those dreams. So it doesn't even matter, it's not that important for them to point at you and maybe do things that will bring you down if you just assume your best and you just keep working.
Yeah. I love that. This is getting really good. I'm loving this conversation. Okay, so now we're gonna go for the next card. We're gonna do a few more cards. I did have that one card that had the 2 questions, but I think I should save that second question for last.
Okay.
It's not bad. I think it's a pretty nice,
it could be like
question.
Good for closing.
Yeah, exactly. I need to find it. I think I must have dropped it because I did. It's on the floor. But yes, I believe it's your turn again. Oh my God, what is it?
I love this one. I actually love this one. I have notes with this one.
I love that.
So, wow.
Oh, you're getting me excited. What's the question?
Okay, so this one says, do you think it's harder for creatives to validate themselves internally since so much of their work depends on audience reaction?
Oh, that is a good one. That's a real good one.
This is a great question, and I think it's very important. Because we were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
How I think it's important for us to, at least for me, or I think for everyone has a message to give.
Yes.
And their self-expressions that they want to put out to the world. And there's this little, quote or, just saying that helps me a lot. And it says, do you think it's harder, for them to depend on their audience, depend on others? And I think impact over recognition is so important.
Ah, ooh, I love that. Say that again. One more time for the people in the back.
For the people in the back, impact over recognition.
Yeah.
It's just so important because people can say good or bad things, but that's not what matters.
Yeah.
What matters is the message that you're putting out.
Yeah.
Your art, if it's your feelings that's what matters. And sometimes, we depend on what others are saying, how many likes we have on Instagram or Spotify, monthly listeners. But if we know that our impact over time is what matters,
yes,
we're not going to rely on others to define our self-worth.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're trying to do.
Yes, we know our vision. That gave me chills because that's so important. That's so important, Angie. That gave me chills.
And at the end of the day, self-worth is not about being praised or what others, the opinion of others or anything like that. I think self-worth starts when no one's watching. When you're a creative and you're working on your art and you love it before anyone else watches or anyone sees it, that's when you know that your worth is this that you have hidden first.
Say it, Angie.
Then you put it out. Then you put it out, and it doesn't matter what others say.
It does not matter.
You already know.
You know what it's about, and you know where it's coming from.
You know your worth already because when it was hidden, you already liked it. You were proud of it. You didn't have to wait until others will see it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You won't seek that validation from elsewhere because you know that for yourself. And so when you put it out, they can either rock with it or don't. And if they don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
For the ones that do, that's who it was supposed to touch. That's who it was supposed to, reach out to.
Exactly. And sometimes you can be proud of things that no one has seen.
Yes.
And some things that people will never see. Some of my best work, I'm telling you, some of my best mixes, the best songs that I've worked on, no one will ever see.
Wow.
But I'm proud of them because I've seen them, and that's good enough for me.
Wow.
And it helps me when I'm working on newer songs that I know what I'm capable of doing because I've seen it, and it's good enough for me.
I love that.
Without the recognition.
That just made my heart warm. And it's how wonderful does it feel? How great. And it's just like that. Like, I know this for myself. I don't care about anything that's outside of that because I know for me, I love it. And I love myself to know that whether someone else appreciates it or not, it came from a deep place. It came from me. It is me. And when you know your self-worth, when you know yourself and you stand on that, seeking validation won't be a thing. I know there's times where people seek confirmation on certain things, and that's okay. But the feeling of whether they like it or not, whether they accept it or not, does not matter as much. It doesn't really matter because it matters to you.
Yes.
It matters to you, and that's such a great feeling, Angie.
Because, recognition feels good.
Yeah.
Validation, it feels good.
Yeah.
But you can't let it define your worth.
No.
You can you can have the good feelings.
Yes.
But it doesn't define you. And I try to be proud of the things that I do before anyone else sees them. It helps me.
I feel joy inside. I feel joy.
We need to do this again.
Yes, we do. I feel joy inside. It's kind of making me emotional, but we ain't gonna be crying. At least I'm not. And if I do, well,
It's okay.
oh well, it's okay.
It's okay
It's
to cry.
okay. And I'm a crybaby anyways. I'm a crybaby anyways. Um, but no, that feels so good. That assurance that you have in yourself.
And everyone can have it. I think it's something that
Everyone.
everyone should practice.
Yeah.
Learn to be proud of your art before it's displayed to the public.
Yeah. Andrew, you're speaking. You're speaking. Is it my turn now?
If you want, we can do the closing one. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yes,
What time
it's-
is it? Is it almost over? Oh, 1:15. Okay. You guys, I don't even want to end this. I don't I don't even want to end this. Wow, you blessed me with that one.
We can
Okay.
do part 2 soon. Coming soon.
Oh, part 2. She said it here. We got it on camera. A part 2.
Okay, I already signed the contract.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I looked at the card. I looked at it. I gotta take it.
Okay.
What advice would you give to other creatives struggling to feel enough in a competitive industry? What advice would you give to other creatives struggling to feel enough in a competitive industry?
I think what advice I will give, an advice that I will give people is that it doesn't matter if you feel that it's not good enough. The key is being consistent because it will get better. But if you never try it,
Mm-hmm.
you will never grow.
Yeah.
If you don't start, posting that song or posting that graphic or creating, it's about repetition,
Yeah.
and it's not about comparison. It's about inspiration. It's about community. There's so many
Yes.
things. You have to surround yourself with people that keeps your fuel going,
Yeah.
even if you feel that it's not good enough, because everyone starts somewhere.
Exactly.
I think it's just about starting and keep going than just, it's not good enough, I'm going to stop doing it, because then it will never be good enough. And sometimes, we deal with this imposter syndrome and all these things as creatives, but it's just a matter of, you only live once. If it's not good enough, at least I know. If it's not good enough, at least I know that I tried.
Yeah. I love that. That's a beautiful answer, Angie.
And I could keep going because sometimes even
Because
like
a lot of people do deal with that in the industry.
yes, and sometimes you listen to an album
Yeah.
and your favorite song is someone's least favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe for you your song is not good enough, but for someone else it's going to be just what they needed.
Yes.
So I think it's just about checking off those feelings of doubt and just keep being consistent, and you'll start liking it. What do? You'll start with experience. You start being more confident about your art.
Yeah.
So it's just you have to keep going. That's my advice. Keep going.
And you're speaking to me on that one, because like this podcast, like I told you when I started this podcast, like I've had a vision for it and what it's supposed to be. This podcast was what's the word? This podcast is a partnership. It's an agreement. It's a accountability thing. It's a deal that I made with God. And I felt like at some point I felt like maybe I'm not cut for the job. Like, why did I make this deal? You know what I mean? I went about 4 months without putting another episode. That's crazy. My first episode was on the first. I put it out on the 1st of January.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be consistent after that, and I just had like that long hiatus because I just felt like I allowed my circumstances to make me feel defeated. And I also felt like because of my circumstances, I'm not enough.
We understand each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like, okay, well, God, I have this and that going on. I don't see how you could possibly want me to do this. I don't feel like I'm capable, you know? And so when you say like keep going, like just like do it, like cuz everyone starts from somewhere. Just start and just keep going because you just never know who you're going to impact in the most positive way.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and you
Yeah.
know it will show your that you're resilient.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter. You'll do it. That it doesn't matter. You'll keep putting the work. You know, if someone cancels your guest, they can't come in. Then you find someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if there were technical difficulties, it's okay. I'll make the sacrifice and record on a day that's maybe I'm really busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that will come up because it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
Sometimes we make it look easy, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
and it will show your resilience. Just
yes.
you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's
so
exciting. It's rewarding.
It is rewarding.
When it's difficult
Yeah.
and you do it, it's so rewarding.
And the like when they say just do it, like when you ask like millionaires or billionaires or real successful like businessmen or women or entrepreneurs, and you ask them like for advice and they're just like just do it, and people are like, oh, that's so cliche, or like everybody says that, but that's that is a real thing. Is taking that first step. You can't do anything else if you don't take you gotta take the first step.
Yes.
You gotta just put it out there.
It's called commitment.
Commitment. You gotta commit.
You just have to do it.
You gotta commit.
And you're not going to like it. Like I'm telling you, when you first start a project, you're going to hate it. But you have to commit to it so that you can get better.
Yeah, don't disqualify yourself already and haven't even begun.
And it goes for everything in your life.
Yeah.
Not only in a creative aspect.
Right.
For your
right.
career,
Yeah.
for the gym,
Yes.
for your, a spiritual side.
Yes.
It's going to be so bad at the beginning. When you first start going to the gym, and you're doing the Stairmaster, and it's only 5 minutes, and you're sweating, and it's horrible.
I can only do 5 minutes.
You know what I mean? But then if you start going like multiple times a week, you're like, now I can do 10 minutes, and that's double of what you could do last week. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you can do 30, and then you can do an hour, and then your knees hurt. But it doesn't matter because you already have like the habit.
Yeah.
And then you do different things that work better for you, and you change, and it's exciting, and you see results. It's crazy.
You have that endurance now.
Life is good.
Life
You know what I
is
mean?
Beautiful.
It's not perfect, but it's beautiful. I love it.
Oh my God, I love this, and I so don't want to end this, y'all. I do not want to end this, but I'm gonna have to. But I'm going to end it out with this last question. It says, if your self-worth were a song, what would the title be? If your self-worth was a song,
Self-worth will be a song?
What would the title be?
The title be, let's see. Self-worth.
Mm-hmm. If it was a song, what would
That's
the title
so
be?
difficult, Danica. Why are you doing that? If it will be the title of a song.
Yes.
I think the title of my self-worth will be just unconditional.
Unconditional.
Because it doesn't change. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My worth is not defined by my circumstances, or if I got a promotion or not, or if people like it or not. It's just unconditional to what I know it is, you know? It doesn't change.
Yeah.
That's what that's I don't know if unconditional is the right word. I just like it doesn't change. My worth is not defined by external sources. Just what I know it is, that's what it is. And it doesn't change. Even if I think it's different, it doesn't change.
Yeah. Wow. And you guys are wonderful, are beautiful, are amazing, are talented and gifted. Angie Sandoval. Thank you so much for coming out, for being here today with me and doing this podcast. I'm so grateful and appreciative of you and your words and your wisdom and your energy, your spirit, just your whole aura. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you guys, I will leave all of Angie's social information on the description below. I feel so refreshed. You know that feeling I was talking about, that like, wow, like when you get out of the shower and you just feel clean and new and refreshed. That's how I feel right now, and I'm so thankful. Like you spoke to me, Angie. Like you spoke to me. You don't even understand. You spoke to me today, and so I'm really grateful and appreciative. And I hope that you guys enjoy this episode and that it's touched you, and that you guys take the time to answer these questions for yourself. Seeking validation elsewhere should not be the all in all for you. Know who you are. Know who you are. And stand in who you are. And you will find that everything doesn't really matter. The opinions, the destructive criticism, just anything that's not meant for your well-being doesn't matter. So I hope this has blessed somebody today. Thank you again, Angie. Do you have any last words?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate you so much. I know that this project is going to grow into being something great. I can't wait until, you have multiple episodes done, and then I come back and it looks super different.
Yes.
And it's like A and B super different.
Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you for the space, and please don't forget to follow the Truth Hearts podcast.
Yes. Follow, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, you guys, and be blessed. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Truth Hurts podcast.
Thank you so much.
Shout